So we are going to be, Dave.
Tonight.
Dear Gussie.
Yeah. And how did we start the last one?
Do what?
How did we start the last session?
With the song.
Yeah, so do we need to start this session with a song?
Take it away, Dave.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, they keep falling. Bum, 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 bum. What Bible character are we talking about tonight?
One of the most famous people in the Old Testament.
Even little kids hear this story.
Even little kids hear this story.
And who is it, David?
I believe you're talking about Methuselah's grandson, Noah.
So how do y'all think that song fits his head? His name, his head.
And David, I believe that Noah.
I don't know when they invented the umbrella.
Well, if you watch the Flintstones, they have a rock umbrella.
And they probably used a fur umbrella.
Okay.
Excuse
So
me, I've had a lot of coffee. They just poured it down me like water.
So what you got for us, David?
About Noah?
Yeah.
Well,
I saw you kind of scratching your head and saying, "Oh, I got something here." So.
well, I was reading something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I googled him, and if you look at the chart, you got Noah right here.
Yep.
How old was he when he started fathering children?
Well, this says 502. So.
Now you think Abraham waited a long time to have kids? 500 years?
500 years.
He had, and not only, well, they taken, that's Shem, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, the other two are also born before the flood in this time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So all three of his sons are born about almost 500 years after Noah was born.
Right. True.
I wonder how long he was married before he even had kids. He might not even been married 400 or 300. He might have been married only 100 or 200 years.
I have a theory about that, Dave. You know, if you're living over 900, you don't have to worry about finding a wife until you're 100 or 200. You might be graduating high school at 200, So, I don't know.
How long did it take them to get to maturity?
We see, before the flood, let me get my smaller, I didn't realize that thing is massive. But if we get our David's best friend's chart out, they're good, they're close.
Yeah, like 2 peas in a pie, right?
You made me lose my train of thought.
Well, I would say he's a peanut, and I'm a cashew.
I like both peanuts and cashews, so there you go.
I'd rather have the cashew over the peanut.
Wait, who's a peanut? Me?
No, your friend.
Oh.
Your friend, not mine.
Oh, you don't know? Yeah. Look. It's a complicated relationship, either way. So, Noah, this is the smaller chart. You see, it's not as awkward as that big one. Where was I going with that? I literally forgot. I had a point to it, But
Well, you're looking at before the flood.
Yeah.
What total numbers you would be looking for before the flood?
so if you look right here, before the flood came, something happened. Like 4 or 5 other people. Forget about him, but other people say that there was a canopy of ice or water overhead. Walter Martin says that on the flood. So that would do several key things. Now you might be wondering, well, what does that have to do with the flood? Well, that would do.
Well, there is a canopy over the earth. It's over the earth today.
Yeah, but beforehand it would have been ice or water.
No, not
Yeah.
necessarily. Yeah, probably the same thing. Just the same canopy we've got now back then.
But bear with me. When the fountains of the great deep busted up, right here, you see?
Yeah, but I told you
Hold
that.
on. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
What you're saying. But before I lose it, after Noah's days, your lifespans drop down tremendously. And now we're lucky if we get to 110. Like I said in the last session,
Well, you're blessed if you get to 110.
well, yeah. I'm going to make it to 969 or die trying.
Well, the flood got him. Of course, that's what the movie shows.
Oh yeah.
There's a movie that has Methuselah being caught up in the flood. But it's like you said, it was based on his name, and that's probably why he didn't get to go on the ark.
Yep. So something was different before the flood. Go ahead. There's a reason. There's a reason why they lived to be 900 years old. Dave.
Well, I don't think it was the canopy over the earth that did
Hold on
that.
now. What if before the flood, let's just suppose that there was a canopy of ice or water over the atmosphere, right? Everything is living to over 900 years, right? No question. Now,
Well,
hold on. There's quite a few critters that
I don't think animals lived that long.
they had to have.
No.
That
No.
if they're still alive, if they're alive, they keep growing. Kangaroos are that way.
Well,
Lizards.
everything starts out as a baby.
Yeah, but they never stop growing.
No, you telling me they don't stop aging.
No, they don't stop growing. You see, me and you, we stop growing when we're 18 or 20. I've seen some go horizontally, kind of like, Jimothy there.
But we always.
But there's the limit. But suppose, just bear with me. Key up Jackson Chameleon on your phone.
What's
Now,
that? Is that a lizard?
It's a lizard, yep. So, if we're saying that reptiles never stop growing, that would be the age of the dinosaurs. Go ahead, key it up.
What's the name of it?
Chameleon. A Jackson Chameleon. Or just chameleon.
Well, I know what a chameleon is.
Yeah.
When it changes colors
Yeah.
to its environment.
Yeah.
So,
hold on. Go ahead.
that's CAM chameleon.
Now, I'm not saying that Dave is going to agree with this, but this is something that in due research, and even atheists say. I have that on my channel. I will have that linked in the description. They say It's a biological fact that reptiles never stop growing. Interesting fact. And, you know, we're about to key up a little chameleon here, and there's different kinds of chameleons. And lo and behold, you got one, Dave?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see what you got here. If you can key up, you get to where there's a whole list of them.
What says the large number of species in this family exhibit considerable variability in their capacity to change color.
Yep. But do you have a picture of it?
There's a bunch of pictures.
There you go. So let's say. Oh, that's a good one. Hey, send this to me real quick. Whenever you get time. So you got. What would these guys look if we're pretending, because I don't think you believe this, but we're pretending, okay?
Okay.
Bear with me. If this guy right here, about a couple of tons bigger than this guy, what would he look like? Babe, what do you think? And you know, you got.
He looked like a dinosaur.
He looked like a triceratops, right? Well, you got. I'll probably butcher these names. Hold on now. You got the triceratops. You got the. This one would be the. I can't remember the name. The. Protozoa, right there. Anyway, there's. Send the article to me. I like to.
That's on what Wikipedia. All you gotta do is look up chameleon on Wikipedia.
Oh, that's just on Wikipedia? Okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing pops up when you do a search on something. Wikipedia.
Yeah.
The first
now,
thing.
Yeah. Now.
Let's say, but.
Now I'm not saying that.
In rebuttal to his.
Now we're not.
Even in rebuttal, we're making believe.
Yeah.
He's talking about things that.
Okay. Yeah. Fair. This is fair. Go
so
ahead.
what if there's some animals that were large and went smaller?
Yeah.
So that necessarily wouldn't hold water.
Well, I mean.
They could start it off.
I mean, it kind of would. I mean, you know, the dog. You got your Great Dane. Then you got your Chihuahua.
I'm thinking of an animal that was big then that ain't big now.
Go ahead.
Sloth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The sloth.
Right. Yeah.
In the ark in Kentucky,
yes.
The sloth is about 6 to 8 feet tall. And you know how big that thing is now? You can hold him in one arm, just like a pet.
So
things.
Hold on. To go off on that.
Things don't necessarily mean.
No. I agree with him. But question. You're right. Now,
how do we get all of this away from Noah?
Oh no, this goes with Noah. Go ahead while I gather my thoughts.
Well, we're talking about the animals.
Yeah, hold on.
And
bear with me.
What I'm saying is the animals that went on the ark back then aren't the same animals today.
26 times in Genesis 1, which you'll agree with me on this one. Genesis 1 and Genesis 6 in the flood story. We got the kinds. Now Charles Darwin and Charles Lyell and all those people that have founded the evolution theory, they say Charles Darwin's book is the origin of species, not kind. Now, you know, there's dog kind, cat kind, elephant kind, giraffe kind. To go off of what he's saying.
But a giraffe is a kind of species.
No.
Because there's no other kind.
Right. It's a giraffe. You know,
the thing about
let the giraffe in the Birmingham Zoo, wild in Africa, he is not going to go and try to mate with armadillo. He's going to find a giraffe. But I'm saying what you're saying. You know, they have reproduced into, for example, the sloth, giant sloth, big sloth. How big were they, David?
They're 7, 8, 9 feet tall.
Yep.
Instead of climbing a tree, he could pull it down. Now he has to climb the tree.
Yeah. You know, you wouldn't have to worry about them though.
I happened to see that on Love Nature today about the sloth.
Oh, did you?
It was so funny. They stay in the tree all the time except for one thing. To do their business.
Oh.
You know what I mean by that, don't you? They have to come down the tree to go potty.
Oh, okay.
That's when they're most vulnerable.
They can't go potty in the tree?
Nope, they come down.
Why?
Tree. They come down to the ground to go to potty.
Whew. Hey, I've broken the speed limit trying to get to the bathroom. It's like, I got to go.
Well, I guess they know.
Yeah.
If it takes them an hour to get down the tree, they know when they got to go.
I guess so.
But
so what does this have to do with the flood?
Well,
when the flood happened, something changed.
Well, I think
everything was bigger. Keep going.
I'm thinking it's not a evolution. It's a mutation.
Well, show me a mutation that's beneficial. There's not a mutation that's beneficial.
Well, that's like the sloth going from large to small. That was a mutation.
Yeah, no, you didn't lose anything. It's still a sloth.
No, you don't have to lose anything. All you have to do is change. If the human race got to where man that's normal size is 6 feet tall, and he ends up 10 feet tall in the future, and no one's ever smaller than that, that's a mutation.
Yeah, that's true.
It don't have to be.
I guess
I grow a 6th finger, or I lose a thumb and it becomes a finger. That's also a mutation, but it's on that body.
Yeah.
The body changes. It doesn't evolve. It mutates.
Keep going on.
That's why
I'm looking for something.
Well, you know, they show the giraffe in the art with a short neck.
Yes, but it's still a giraffe.
Yes,
it's not a kangaroo.
But it's mutated to a long neck giraffe now. It didn't evolve into a long neck giraffe. It mutated.
I agree and I disagree, but
mutation and evolution are not the same thing. In my book.
No, I can see that.
It's just.
What do y'all think? I'll let y'all decide. But it's not the origin of kinds, it's the origin of species, is Darwin's book.
Well, that's what
it is he is trying to go far away from the Bible, so he is saying, this says this, so we got to make it say this. It's clear that God made all the different kinds of animals. And it's interesting, did you know that, we watch our movies, I think you mentioned the movie earlier, that these people depict the animals coming, or Noah going in and looking for the giraffe or the elephant or whatever, the penguins, wherever. But the animals just came to him. Didn't have to look for them, didn't have to do anything. And
he didn't have to go get them.
Yeah, that's true. Now, before the flood, the Bible says that there were giants in the earth in those days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true.
You're talking about large men.
Large.
Like life.
Large whatever. Yeah.
I mean, he's talking about.
He's
talking about men.
Now, I think Now I think these people before the flood, now Goliath don't come until much later. I think the people here would laugh at Goliath and say,
"You're a shrimp.
You think you're good? You think you're hot stuff?
I'd squash you with my foot."
Yep. Whew. But there were giants in the earth in those days. Now, what does that mean? There's giants. Now I will say this: if you look in the fossil record, kind of get into the scientific thing, you don't find giant people. And that's a scientific fact. Now, question, why? Now, if we're going to take the Bible as true, as scripture, as 100%, do you have anything?
I'm just, you're talking about.
You're just listening?
You're talking about giants before the flood.
Yes. So,
and then
so
I heard.
A human would know if it's raining and if it's, they're going to go for higher ground and escape.
But it's never rained.
Yeah.
It never rained then.
I know.
So they wouldn't know.
We're talking about the flood.
They didn't know what rain was.
Right.
And it never rained until the flood.
Exactly.
So they didn't know what was hitting them in the head. They didn't know. They didn't know they could. That could kill them.
Remember.
They didn't know that. If they got deep enough, they didn't know it could kill them.
Well, remember, Noah is saying, "Hey, it's going to rain, or it's going to flood, or something that they're going to have." And again, Methuselah, they're going to say, once he dies, they're going to think. Now, some of them probably be scoffing, like, "Ha ha ha! Well, you see, nothing happened." Well, guess what? A week, 2 weeks later, who knows? Started flooding. Now, can you see it? We're doing the same thing. We're here on Easy. We're saying.
Now you gotta remember.
Hold on now. We're saying.
How long did it take Noah to build that ark?
400 years. I don't know.
It took a lot. It took a lot of.
I don't think it says.
Yeah, I think it says. His boys had to help him.
Yep.
And if they were born 100 years before the flood, then they had to be big enough to help him build it. So you're looking 70 years to build the ark.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 70 years,
he's using the ark as a platform to preach.
Yeah, and that's why Noah couldn't leave that area to get away from the flood.
Hold on now.
He's there to preach.
Hold on now.
He's there to preach.
Look at other sessions on where's on you'll say, "Oh, come on, David." Okay. But Psalm 104 is talking about creation, not the flood. I will say that.
So you're talking about, what about these giants?
Now,
what are you trying to find out about them?
No. In the fossil record, right?
What about the fossil record?
You agree that there's a fossil record, right?
On what?
There's a fossil record.
On them giants that died before?
No. On anything, you got clams, you got fish, you got birds, reptiles, mammals. You got all these.
Well, then
all these mega sloths we're talking about. They were.
Well, if you find them, how come they ain't found them giants fossils?
Good question.
If they ought
Here's
to be,
the answer.
They ought to be there too.
No.
Yeah.
No, because
anything.
How many people?
If they're finding fossils before the flood, then
Question.
They should find the people before the flood. Fossils of them.
But they don't. The question is why? How many animals? Just for example, how many animals, people in the Congo, Africa, wherever? How many people have died in? We're only in the 10th of May. How many people, animals, and everyone combined? How many have fossilized? Out of all the millions, trillions, sextillions, all the how many fossilized? 0.
Well,
Because
you don't know.
yes, because scientifically, for it to go, you got to be buried. You see, fossilization.
How come they're finding Egyptians' bodies that are over 2,000 years old still intact?
Because they're mummified, right? And
That's a form of fossilization.
exactly.
So if mummies can be found that way, there's others that can be found that way. Indian burial grounds here in the United States.
But the question about it is, there were giants in the earth in those days.
You can still find people's bones
Yes.
that are thousands of years old.
Right. But you see, whenever they're preparing the body for mummification, got my tongue tumbled up in my words mix right there. They're getting the body ready to be mummified. There you go.
Yeah, they pull their brains out through their nose.
Yeah. And what that does is, you see, it's got to preserve it. That's why.
Well, if that's what fossilization is, it's being preserved.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So what's the problem with that?
you can still find human remains that's been fossilized.
But yes. But fossilization has to be under special circumstances.
So that would go for any animal.
For any animal.
So even the ones before the flood.
Any plants.
If you're finding dinosaur bones,
sure,
it has to be the same standard for them as it would be for anybody or anything that gets fossilized.
You just got to get a pink one and a blue one to survive after the flood. That'll be important later.
Pink one and one blue one.
Yep.
That's male and female.
Yep, boy and girl. Yeah. And Noah probably brought babies of everything on the ark.
Well,
why bring your 2 big sloths on the ark?
Well, for one thing, babies need their mothers for a certain amount of time, so they can't be exactly babies. They have to be old enough that they could eat on their own.
Yeah. Now, in the King James Version, here's your King James Version, David. It says, I'm not sure about the New King James, but it says that Noah built rooms on the ark.
Yeah.
All the other versions say, this is why the King James is.
Well, the one in Kentucky that this guy's built has 3 levels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he's got cages on the ark.
They had bird cages on there too.
Yep. You don't need cages. They're all vegetarian. They don't need cages.
Well, you got to keep them from wandering through the ark.
Yeah, true.
You're not. You just.
But why?
You don't want to, because you don't want to be herding them up all the time. You keep them pinned up.
Well, yeah, but they're wild animals, though.
So they won't. Well, they probably weren't wild, but that don't mean they could wander from one end of the ship to the other.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to attack anybody or anything.
Yeah,
so,
right.
But yeah, they're
kind of like farming, segregating. Because you got your cows, your sheep, your pigs, right?
Yeah, I don't know if a cow would eat the same thing a pig would eat.
Oh, yeah. Because everything's friendly, everything's vegetarian.
But see, the thing, you see, what you have to realize, and it's one thing that's not mentioned in the Bible. Is privacy.
Yeah.
Man and wife. Not only that, you have to account for a porta potty.
Yeah.
Because if you got horses, you're gonna clean the manure out of your barn. So that was one of the nasty jobs they had to do, was clean the manure, not only of themselves, but for all the animals.
Good point.
So there's little subtleties that we don't think about that have to go on in daily living.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you know, your Western Indians, cowboys and Indians,
Yeah.
when the family lived in teepees.
Right.
So when mom and dad want to have a little fun,
Oh gosh.
they have to wait till the kids go to sleep, and they're doing it in the tent under buffalo hide. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think Noah and them did that. I think they had each had their own
The room.
own room.
Yeah.
Plus you had they had the ability of blacksmithing.
Yeah.
Iron or bronze or whatever it was back then was able to be produced and made tools out of.
Mhm.
So you had to be careful not to burn the ship down when
Yeah.
you're metallurgy and then you had to have compartments for storage for food.
Hey, David.
Hello.
Oh.
Oh, that's different.
Anyway, we will cut it off there.